Hey everyone, it's Blue Lizard Jello and welcome back to Everything Possible in The Surge 2. Last time we entered into Port Nixon, we discovered a rather shady NPC by the name of Penny who seemingly was cutting up and cooking other people to feed the rest of the people. But because we took her out, we did also rescue Jennifer and we got some good rewards. Now today, hopefully we'll be wrapping up at least this run through of Port Nixon, including ending with another boss encounter, Little Johnny. Now, I have changed a couple of things behind the scenes. In the options, there was a couple things that I wanted to address. Number one, the finishing sequence rate was a little too high. I had it set to high, but now I would like the low to be on, which means it's only going to show that cinematic cut anytime I get a new piece of gear. I had also gone over to display and changed the show player headgear to never, although I'll be turning this off. I just wanted to let you know that if you turn that to never, it shows that you have no headgear on, although I am still wearing the backwards bully cap. With this setting, I can still look rather stylish while wearing one of these silly headgears that gives me the set bonuses for everything else that I'm wearing, which is rather nice, but I am going to turn that right back on. I just wanted to show that that was an option. You can also have it to only show up in combat zones, or you can turn it to always. I'm going to leave it to, well, you know what, in combat zones works for me. I did tweak the audio a little bit, so hopefully the voices will come through a little bit more. And now, before we run out, I do want to show you a couple of cool things as far as comparing items. Now, I like the Klinged Velosaw, and I do want to play around with the Klinged Velosaw Ultra. The problem is, if I were to compare these two, take a look. Now, the Klinged Velosaw on the right-hand side is at Mark II, whereas the Klinged Velosaw Ultra is only at Mark I, which means it's tough to actually compare. But if you notice, on the left-hand side, under the Velosaw Ultra icon, it says I can use the right analog stick. And indeed, if I use that to go right, I can actually show what it'll look like upgraded. So as Mark II, you can see a significant damage increase, 12 more damage than the regular Klinged Velosaw, and an extra 10% energy gain. Really, really useful. You can do this with implants, you can do this with weapons, and with armor. So let's jump into the med bay. Let's go to my upgrade, and I am going to upgrade the Ultra. Then I'll be switching to that once I get a moment. Now, I do have all of the aspirants gear, but right now I don't have a reason to use either of those set bonuses. So we are going to be collecting the Spark Aspirant Defenders, or the Spark Defenders gear throughout this episode, but for now, I don't have any real need to upgrade it, and since early on tech scrap and materials take a little while to farm, I'm not too interested in doing that. But what I am interested in doing is using all of the scrap that I have in order to get just a few more levels. There we go. We got to level 31, which means we did get another implant slot and we have some more points to spend. I'm okay with my health as is. I do want to get my battery efficiency up even more, but for now, just so we can see just the type of combos we can get, I'm going to put all of those into stamina. But take a look at the bottom right of this grid. We can redistribute for only 500 tech scrap. I have done this multiple times in testing, and it always seems to stay at that rather low cost. It may change in New Game Plus. That I am not sure of just yet. Right. So let's go back to the Ultra, and you know what? Just to look a little bit different, let's put on the Smell Saver that we bought from Penny. Before we jump out, I'm going to take one last look at my build. If anything changes, I will let you know, otherwise back in just a moment. As expensive as it is, I do plan on using the Laser Pistol quite a bit in this episode, so I think I will be using the Omni Sales clip. It did take the rest of my 8 core power consumption, makes me level out at an even 36 out of 36, but you know what? That is just fine. Right, so where are we going to head? Well, we're going to start just by going right outside the medbay into the residential rooftops. We know that we have the gentleman over there with the SNR jacked up, but we're going to hop down this mag lift. Remember, we got this by being rude to Jennifer. Let's take this enemy out very quickly. Good deflection. 398 damage. I am very, very okay with that. And then from here, we might have to take out this enemy. In fact, let's do it. Might as well get some materials anyway. Also, one thing that we haven't mentioned, actually two things. The number that is next to their health and their stability bar, that is the level of the enemy, which actually equates to the level of upgrade materials we'll get from destroying them. Also, with the aspirants, they do have some special devices. You can see this one has it on his head, and if I were to break that, which unfortunately I have missed. Let's go for another hit. If you break it, then you can stop them from getting that buff animation. But the aspirants and the defenders have it differently. The aspirants have it on their head, whereas the defenders are going to have it on their arm. Right, so let's see. Do you notice me? He does. So we're going to have to take out this guy. That is okay. Getting those perfect deflections will make this go rather quickly. Until we take some needless damage here. And watch them mine. Alright, at least I got the block here. There's the cut. Alright. So we're safe enough. A little too much damage, but that's okay. We should be able to get lots of energy here coming up. Now, we've seen this enemy before. We saw him from that walkway just up there. That brought us to the med bay at first, but it can also bring us right outside of Point Nixon. Now, he is going to try and run away to tempt us to run towards him, but that's because he has an auto turret right here, which we can just take out nice and easy. There's one of the Spark Defenders. We've already killed him before. Let's just take care of these other two mines nice and quickly. Should be able to leave him alone. Here is a battery charge. Now, notice what I just did there. I had mentioned, and I have to make a correction from the very first episode, the pre-charges, if you are at full health and you have a battery, you can store a charge as a pre-charge with one of your healing injectables. But if you're not at full health and you still want to store it instead of using it, because frankly, it's a waste to use it if you're not that low on health, you can hold down the injectable button, in my case B, and it'll store it as a pre-charge. Really, really useful. Now let's take care of you nice and quickly. Not really too worried about getting your cuts. And the battery is not quite there, but I can grab this one. There we are. Did I get the Spark Defender's attention? No, I thought I had. So the other aspirant, he ran down here. We are on Paper Street. Let's grab another battery adrenalizer, which is just going to become some Mark 1 materials. And here we go. Let's see if we can take him out. Might as well get his arm if we can. And nope, we just got the kill. That's all right. Once again, storing a pre-charge even though I'm not at full health. So using this door control, we can head inside here, and we're in paper storage, which isn't going to mean a whole lot to us right now. Grab that metal scrap. This is going to be a very, very useful shortcut here very soon. You can listen to Matriarch Celeste if you wish, but this is the same information that we already heard. And look, iron mouse everywhere. And if we hop up this mag lift and open up this shortcut, this is the comic book store. We saw this from the outside. There is the med bay just over there. And here we just ran past while we listened to Matriarch Celeste. And if you would like to listen to her more and actually watch her, you can do so on this screen. But you know what? We'll be meeting her face to face in not too terribly long. Head back down the mag lift. We're done here for now. Again, just opening up a nice shortcut for us. We've already killed the one aspirant here, so nothing else to worry about. But as we go up, things are going to get very, very hectic and very quickly. Lots of robots, lots of drones, lots of turrets, and lots of aspirants and defenders in this next section. But do not miss this. Oh, one other thing I should mention. I am now playing offline. You've probably noticed a severe lack of graffiti, and I've decided that enough is enough. It's time to just have a little bit less clustered of a screen of view. So even though I'm going to miss out on playing hide and seek with banners, for now at least, I'll be playing offline. And up here, notice we cannot target this individual, and that's because this is an NPC. And before we talk to him, I want to grab this right here, which is a large pile of metal scrap, worth 1,000, kind of to highlight some irony. But this is Finn. This is the debt collector that Molly Fox owes 2,000 scrap to.
Welcome to my office. Hey, don't take this the wrong way, but you look like you've seen better days. You get mugged or something? If you need a bit of cash to get back on your feet, I might be able to help. I guess my reputation precedes me. Yeah, guilty as charged. I'm Finn the moneylender. You want to get in business or what? 2,000 tech scrap? You have to be joking. If this goes on much longer, I won't be able to feed my family.
At this point, I don't have many options. I can say I don't have the money, I'll have to think about this, or if I want, I can just get violent and kill him. That will also solve this quest. Now, Finn doesn't seem to me like a bad guy. Maybe he has some rather sharky practices, but all in all, he is trying to help others out and feed his own family at the same time, so I do want to pay him.
If only you'd understand.
So at this point, he's still not hostile. What I want to do is go into my inventory, and I'm going to consume this. So now I'm over 2,000. Let's try and talk to him again.
Pleasure doing business.
Just skip this dialogue, and now I can say, here's your money, now leave her alone.
I hope you see the truth one day. Miss Fox isn't what she seems. Sometimes you can't see the big picture without squinting.
Something is a bit off about Miss Molly, and we kind of assume that based on how she talked to us. For me, there's no valid reason to kill him other than to save 2,000 tech scrap, and frankly, I can spare it. In this next section, there is a lot to be had, so if you want to use the lootscanner.exe drone module, I completely understand. Now, I'm rather low on Omni Sales, it seems like. We have an aspirant up there on the catwalk. What I want to do is get my drone out there, take care of that. Then we have the defender who's going to be patrolling over there. I don't want his attention until I can take out this aspirant. So hopefully he'll just drop down. Got the block at least. Target him. Okay, watch the stamina. Ooh, too much damage. There we go. Let's use some of our metavoltaic that we've been saving up. I'm going to store another one there. So take a look at the metavoltaic. The metavoltaic, based on our current power, is restoring 128 health per charge. So if I'm not at least 128 health down, which as you can see, even though I don't have hard numbers, I'm definitely not, it really is rather wasteful to use it now instead of storing it as a pre-charge. Now, I do not have any of the Spark Defender, and this guy actually has a little bit of everything for me. So tell you what, I'm going to go for his arm. Okay, missed the deflection. And start to watch out, because you see that symbol on the screen. That means that I cannot block, and I'm not going to be able to do anything to him. So let's just back up. Let him do his combos. There's the cut. Using one battery charge, I still have enough to use a metavoltaic and then store a pre-charge, which is exactly what I will do here. And we just got the schematic for his arm gear, as well as some Mark III tungsten alloy, and we do want to get to Mark III before the boss fight. And over here we get another sustaining array, which we already picked up, so we just get some more materials. I'm going to turn my rig light off. Now we can go down, or we can go up. I am going to start by going up. There's not going to be a whole lot of loot up here, but even more important, we get the drop on these turrets, which will make it a little bit easier. We can also take out some of these other aspirants and engineers if we wish. Of course, there is Finn over there. Nothing over here, and just one piece of equipment, or not even equipment, but tech scrap. As you make that jump, over on these pipes, we get a pile of metal scrap. No way to jump back, but there's no reason to jump back, because now we can just head down. Over to the left, we do have an audio log, and then immediately we're going to go into another nanite echo. And this one is rather interesting, and pay attention if you're interested in the lore, because this is going to talk a lot about Flight 221. So let me play that.
This is Officer Clarkson, recording my final report. We found nanite residue all over Flight 221. One of our scientists identified that damn gunk as rogue processed nanites, whatever that means. He got real tight-lipped when I asked him to explain. Classified intel, he said. Something fishy about all this. But it's too late now. Those goddamn religious fanatics stole the evidence. I can only pray those bastards don't use the stuff for something vile.
So while we were listening to the information about Flight 221 and how they found nanite particles belonging to Rogue Process, and that is the final boss from the original Surge. Let's get rid of their turrets. So now we have this engineer who's coming after us. I've noticed that there is actually an audio bug with some of these engineers, specifically these enemies. I'm not really sure. So just getting some more loot here. You did see that I pulled the 1 spark aspirant with my drone just to get him away from the others. There's a lot of enemies over there. Now let's listen to this next nanite echo, and then we're going to get a really, really valuable weapon from it.
Only one survivor. I can feel a pulse. Infection levels are way off the charts.
Lydia, it's gonna kill you.
Try and stay calm. You're safe now.
Where am I?
Don't talk. You need to rest. We'll take you someplace safe.
Hostiles incoming. Get the girl. We gotta move.
What the? Wait, she's running away. We can't let her get to Terminal Z.
For the glory of the spark, purge the heretics!
So what kind of cover-up is going on with Flight 221 and Athena Guttenberg, and what is happening over at Terminal Z? There is the wreckage of Flight 221 right over there. In fact, we even have an airplane wing right in the water. But inside this loot cache, we have the vibrating quick sight. I really, really enjoy this weapon. It is a staff weapon, damage 111, impact 15, attack speed 110, energy gain 35%, stamina consumption 95%, and nano damage a whopping 31, and it comes already as Mark II. Tell you what, between the moveset and the nanite buildup, this is a lot of fun. But if you are really looking for all of the loot, you have to make this leap of faith over to the airplane wing so you can grab a small pile of tech scrap. But I guess that was worth it. Probably not. So if you're worried about that jump, do not even worry about it. So we've already killed the enemies patrolling this little section, and then we do want to get this engineer. What we may have to do though is jump over to him. Let's get rid of that mine. We don't want him getting us if we can help it. And another turret. Let's untarget, and we're going to make the leap over. Going for the head, and we'll just do the dropping plunge attack. Oh, we got this other aspirant though. That's all right. Should be able to deal with him. And there we are. We already have all of our pre-charges and we're topped off, so let's just grab a little bit of loot from them. We're going to be going over there in just a moment, but what I want to do is make this jump again. So just running along this thin wall and then sprinting once we get here is the easiest way to make that jump. So we can just sprint and jump. Easy peasy. We can get the drop on some mines here, which is going to be really nice. There's also going to be some mines directly under us. You can see them in the shipping container, so we'll deal with them carefully when the moment arises. So here we have improved transistors. Again, another implant that we already had. If we wanted to drop down there, we could. But instead, I want to just run back here, and we're going to make our way over to the right. Watch all of this glowing sludge that will cause the poison and toxin buildup. Back here, some more metal scrap, but underneath this flowing water, we have a passageway to the underground. I encourage you not to open this door just yet, because if you go in there, it does count as a transition. We'll get a loading screen, and all of the enemies here are going to respawn. And there's nothing down there that we can currently do. We need more equipment in order to proceed. And if you so much as interact, it's automatically going to transition you instead of just opening a door and letting you walk through. So heading back to the sludge-filled area, we have some safe spots, but by and large, it's just going to be a lot of toxic, so you can make some of the jumps here. You can see more sludge there. There's some loot right there. Let's grab it nice and quick. Another small pile of scrap. But before we go in that way, let's actually head to this tunnel. So let's just run and sprint and avoid as much as we can, hopefully not getting toxic. And here you can hear Matriarch Celeste's voice. We show paper storage, and once again, we've just made an excellent shortcut. If we take this, run down a short path, we're at the med bay, and then we can just return at any point. Very nice. And we have another audio log.
Get off my garbage dump, Mortimer. You're not wanted here. I've built this damn dirty rubbish heap with my own hands, and now I'm not even allowed to doss here. Well, I don't care, do I, Missy? This place is a ruddy minefield anyway. Can't walk a step without falling over another dud EMP grenade. Damn pieces of junk break everything. I'll get back on my feet soon enough. Just you wait.
So we just heard the voice of Mortimer. We've already spoken to him. He was a bit of a guide for us at the measly cost of 1 tech scrap. This door we will be able to open later on for another shortcut, but down this hallway, we do want to take that mag lift, but first we need to take care of some of these enemies. Now, they're going to be extraordinarily weak, and we can take them out both very easily. Don't even need to worry about getting the cuts. Well, actually, I guess this guy I can get the head from since she was better armored. There's some more Omni Sales, which is going to be great. We have another mine here. Let's make sure our drone can hit it. There is a defender, but we also have something right there, a little bit sinister. That is a Pax. Hard to see because of the glare. But just like the first boss in the original Surge, that is Pax. We cannot fight Pax 101. We have to be a little bit ingenious about it, and I'm going to show you how to do that by taking this mag lift. So we have an engineer here, but don't be fooled because right around the corner we have another MG negotiator wielding enemy. Let's see. She does have a little bit of armor on, so I'll use that. At least got the block there. Nope, got the kill. Just trying to get the arm cut. That's okay. Pick up that large pile of metal scrap. Now this engineer, let's see what we want to go for. Let's go for the arm. Let's do a sliding attack and miss completely. That's perfect. That's what I was hoping for. Get the arm cut for some more scrap, and now we have another view of Terminal Z. That is where we're headed. That is where little Johnny is hiding out. Now, I don't know that I've mentioned the sliding attack, so that bears mentioning. If we're sprinting, and then we just attack, we'll automatically do the slide. Just like so. Very, very useful. We also have a jumping attack though. If we're running and we jump, and then you attack, you can do this really nice ground pound, although this does depend on the weapon type that you're using, so play around. Lots of different combos. In here, you can see we do have another aspirant, and that laser is indicative of a turret. So let's sneak in here. I don't want to waste an Omni Cell if I can help it, so we'll just go for a dash attack. And as usual, we're going to go for the head. Back up. There's another good deflection. And there's the kill. So here we have some more information on Blue Sparkles. There's some drug manufacturing, we have some more storage tanks, all that wonderful stuff, but we also have 2 cleverly hidden paths with these boxes. So over here, if we just run through all of these boxes, just being very careful. Oh, make sure I'm not wasting my battery. Kind of hard to see. So over here, here is another engineer. Let's see, is there anything worth taking off of you? You do have a leg piece, might as well. There's the cut, very quickly. And if you want to deal with the packs nice and easy, inside this shipping container, we have a few of those spider drones. If I interact with this terminal right here, it opens the gate. This terminal sends them forward. Now there is an alternative though. On the back, and you can just make it out, the PAX does have a spot where you can interact using the EMP Starfish, which we don't have yet. By the end of the episode, we will. But for now, just to make it easy, let's call forth the drones. And I actually find this part a little bit sad. PAX offline. If I could get the PAX Imperative version 2.0, you know I would. While we are here, let's take care of that mine and that one. And that's just going to leave that defender once we get down there, and then 2 more defenders over there by the delicatessen. So that's this one path. And now inside here, we have another one. Let's just destroy all these boxes. But inside here, not a whole lot to be done. We do have a lifter hook spot, but they are missing. But just take a look. We're almost at Terminal Z, but we have an engineer and 2 defenders. We also have another defender. That over there is another area transition, but inside that building, we also have some heavy-duty wielding enemies. If we drop down here, we may be able to get the drop on a couple of enemies, but there's a defender, there's an aspirant, and there is also an engineer, so we want to at least kill one of them before we make our way down there. So there's the engineer. Tell you what, let's just give him a quick pull. Get him to come our way. Should be able to get some more Omni Sales from him. Give him some distance though, otherwise he's just going to stand back and use his turrets or his mines. And did he lose interest? No, he is still coming, just very slowly. Oh, almost missed this. You guys would have yelled at me in the comments. Just some more metal scrap. Here he is. That was a poor show. Another poor show. I'm going to use my vertical attacks here. Heavens to Betsy, this is not going smoothly. But we got the arm cut. And let's see if it's possible to get this aspirant. It should be. He's right here. Yes, perfect. Okay, now let's back up. All right, I don't actually want to get the kill. Well, I'm gonna have to anyway. Let's top off. Probably should have just stored that one. But now we just have the defender, and if we want, well, he's gonna see us anyway. I was gonna say we could have gone and just gotten behind him using that area we were just at. Watch it. Ooh, too much damage, too much damage. I do want to get his chest piece. There it is. It's really handy getting all of this extra stamina. Good. Let's heal up a bit. Okay, we're in a bad place. Let's back up a little. Do a little poke. Do another little poke, and then back up. He's gonna do his combo that we cannot defend against. But we almost have the cut here. There it is. A little bit low on health. That does have me a little bit concerned. There's a schematic. Oh, here's a free battery charge, which is perfect. And you know what? If you didn't see it, heading back up this way, where we could have dropped down to get behind him, which would have been the right call, trust me, we do have another battery charge. And this one I'm just going to store as a pre-charge. Okay, because we want all the loot and all the info, let's pick up the charming courtship audio log.
Attention! Attention! All able-bodied females under, say, 25. I'm in dire need of some good entertainment tonight. Drop by to earn yourself free lodging, a hot meal, all the blue sparkle you can shake a stick at, and a virile, consenting boyfriend who'll be with you through thick and thin. Come to Terminal Z and trade the gutter for my bed tonight.
So that was little Johnny looking for some entertainment. We did have an aspirant and an engineer waiting for us. And, oh, we don't want this, so let's take care of that mine if we have to. Oh, and I'm missing all my dashes, and now I can't even escape. All right, we have a turret here to deal with, and now we just pulled a defender. This has become a bit of a frenzy. Let me back up. Let's deal with them, hopefully one-on-one, especially because we have the defender. Not sure he's gonna come all this way though. Okay, this works for me. Oh, don't want to fall off with him. Oh, well that's unfortunate. Didn't really want to waste all those Omni Sales, but I did get some back, and we got the Reclamation Buddy. Some of the engineers, if you attack their head, can drop this implant. Tech strain plus 10% and only 6 core power consumption, so for tech farming, this could be a really good build to just start focusing on using the extra tech scrap gain. Into the lower flooded grounds, let's store this. We do need to take care of this defender right here. Let's double check, I'm not sure what we have left. So we have the defenders, arm and chest, so we need leg and head. Well, this guy has his head. And already he just started with the unblockable. Back up. And we should just about have it. There it is. Perfect, there is the defender. I'm going to use this stored pre-charge that I had. And just so you can see what it looks like, over this way. Again, nothing we can really do at the moment. But over this way, past all of these broken down trucks, we do have the new destination, to the Cathedral of the Spark, where Celeste, the matriarch, is going to wait. So let's listen to the original sin, and then we'll move on.
Follow me, my disciples. For today the children of the Spark have found a new home. In this mighty cathedral, we shall devote our minds, bodies, and souls to the almighty Spark. Here, we shall honor the Harbingers and torture those heathens who dare defy us. Because, as forgiving as the Spark can be, it will not abide those who challenge our authority. Now, the glorious punishment shall begin!
We have lots more propaganda from Matriarch Celeste. Now, I did make this jump over there to get some more spark. Now, I did make the jump over there to get more scrap. I did pick up a battery charge and store it as a pre-charge. Now we have 2 ways of essentially getting to the same place. Go through this building or go up above, which we are going to do both. To go up above, we need to backtrack a little bit and go to, as you can see in the distance, where the PAX is. But first, let's go under here. And we have to be very careful because there are enemies. You can see one hiding right there with the equalizer weapon. So we want to pull him. We do not want to fight in this corridor. And I apologize, that is actually the Titan, not the equalizer. But let's focus on his arm. There's the cut. Excellent. What is our combo up to? 2.1. We're getting 2.1 times the amount of tech scrap for every kill. Okay, he's not coming for us yet. We got another implant that we already had, so we got more material. There is another Titan wielder right there. Don't jump in the toxic, that was silly. Okay, let's store this pre-charge. Alright, got the kill, that's alright. We're about to see some somewhat familiar areas, but first we still have an engineer over there, and we have a defender. We also have another Titan wielder right here. Alright, just a nice clean kill. Some more metal scrap. And this is going to be an excellent shortcut for us. So before we go up the mag lift, let's run over here. We've already seen this loot pyramid. So improved transistors, we've already gotten that now multiple times. But down here, this is that door in the tunnels that we saw from the other side. So remember, we fought the 2 MG negotiators right over there. So through this tunnel, of course, don't waste any of those precious batteries. This mag lift is going to lead right back to our med bay, which is excellent. And when I say right back to our med bay, I do mean right back to our med bay. And there's even another door here that we're going to be opening from the other side rather soon, which will make the boss run even easier. Oh, and it looks like this enemy actually dropped a battery for us, which I don't need yet because I'm full health and I have max pre-charges. So what I'd like to do, let's see, we're going to go for his leg. So let's pull the defender. There we are. We don't want to get the attention of the engineer or else he's going to use his turrets and drones on us. And hopefully, there it is. We need a backup though. Back up. Okay. A little bit of damage, but we're ready for the cut. There we are. And there is the defender leg gear and lots more Omni Sales, which is perfect. So now we can just rush over, slide attack, take care of whatever he was just trying to summon. Nice clean kill, and there is some more scrap. Tell you what, we can just run back, grab that one last battery, because I always like to be topped up if at all possible. There we are. This is the way towards the boss, and actually we have another battery loot pyramid right here. So we're now in Terminal Z, the salvage deck. Something is happening. As we slowly make our way up here and grab a little bit of insignificant loot, let's listen to this next audio log.
I'm telling you, Declan, Eli is after me. No way! He's so devout. He's a snake. You know about our sister? She died in her sleep when she was a kid. At least that's what they say, but I know the truth. But would Mom believe it? No, because she loves him so much more. I hate Eli. He's turned the children of the Spark into nothing but a cynical end times cult. But what about your holy faith? Who knows? Who cares? Just go and tell me what Eli's up to. Go on!
So we had information from Little Johnny and Declan, who was the one that Eli was interviewing, or I should say interrogating. And it does seem that Little Johnny realizes that his brother was now after him. So we've come out this way, we open this door. I already killed the spider mine, and there was some tech scrap on the stairs on the way up. Make sure we store that. We have this large bridge with an EMP starfish, so we'll be able to access this once we get the drone, but we're also going to be able to lower this from the other side once we do a little bit of a loop around. Take care of that turret. And we do have that engineer right here, so let's just mosey on up. I would like to focus on his arm. And there's the cut. Don't fall off. Some more scrap, some more alloy. And we even have another battery charge. I am gonna leave that.
Mother, I'm in charge here, and I know what I'm doing. You should trust me for once and leave this to me.
The invaders were defeated, so the drug's purpose is done. We must reunite. You're not a drug lord, you're my son, an heir to the Holy Spark. If you stay on this path, even I won't be able to save you from yourself.
Yes, Mother. You're right, Mother.
End the distribution of blue sparkle today, and lead these souls back to me.
Of course, Mother. I'll tell them. Thank you for your counsel.
May the spark bless you, Jonathan. I'll see you in the cathedral. May the spark bless you, Jonathan. I'll see you in the cathedral.
Well, that was an interesting encounter. Matriarch Celeste talking to Little Johnny, and apparently their family. Matriarch Celeste is the mother to both Little Johnny and Brother Eli. So we're going to work on another shortcut here, so you can see there is an aspirant here. Let's just go for the head. Oh, unfortunate. But we should be able to break his little implant there. Makes it nice and easy to get the stun as well as get his head cut. And it looks like we get another free battery charge. Works for me. Dropping down here, this is a point of no return. This is going to lead us immediately to the boss fight, and we're not ready just yet. Of course, we have a door here for the EMP starfish and a loot cache containing a new implant, the antidote injection. 7 core power consumption, up to 2 max pre-charges, and this increases your poison defense by 500. It is massive, and it lasts for quite a long time, but you can also use this if you do get poisoned using 1 battery charge to cure the poison. Now, be quick in here, because as you can see, we do have a mine, so if you just run away, you should be okay. But then inside here, this is going to be that amazing shortcut all the way back right to the med bay, making the run back to Little Johnny an absolute breeze as long as you unlock both of these shortcuts. Now, I don't want to rest just yet because I don't want the enemies respawning. What I want to do though is make a very quick run, or about as quick as I can make it, back through the entire area, leading back to the split where we had two choices. So we're going back to the throughway, down onto Paper Street, got some hidden scrap behind that. That wasn't guaranteed though, that was just from one of the earlier kills. Flooded grounds, luckily everything is still very much dead. And now we can take care of this pesky shipping container with some mines in it. And inside, we get another small pile of tech scrap. Is it worth it? Well, that's really up for you to say. There's another large pile of metal scrap back there, good for another 1,000. And then down through here, remember we took that mag lift in order to kill packs from up above. But now we have a little bit more to deal with. Let's take care of that turret. And he is already starting with an unblockable combo, so time to back up. I already have all of the armor that I need, so I'm just gonna focus on the unarmored at this point. There's the cut, nice and safe. Pick up the Mark III tungsten alloy, and even though the Pax is still moving around, he is completely harmless to us. Just to give you kind of the lay of the land here. As I stand in toxic, that is the platform we want to climb up to get back to Terminal Z from the other way. Over there is the island we jumped to get some scrap, and in here, that's another section we need to go loot. But Pax is offline, and up here we have two Spark Defenders guarding the Delicatessen. If at all possible, we only want to deal with one at a time, and if this one has an unarmored head, I am okay with that. Looks like we're not going to get one at a time. So this could get messy. You know what? I am actually just going to soften them up mentally, and then get a nice clean kill. I know I just used all my Omni Sales, which is a bit unfortunate. Nice deflection there. Back up, get the kill. And they are both dead. Some more Mark III alloy, which is excellent. We're gonna need that. Some more metal scrap. Make sure we just top off our health and then bank our injection. And look who's now at the Delicatessen. None other than Jennifer.
Look at you, honey. You're thin as a rake. But don't you worry one bit. Jenny's Delicatessen will put some meat on your bones in a heartbeat. Someone has to take those hungry people off the streets after all. Running an honest business. Unlike that bitch Penny, nobody's gonna lure innocent people into that old death trap of hers anymore. From now on, everyone gets what they deserve. No exceptions.
Notice that Jennifer's not saying she won't be killing people for their meat. She's simply stating that innocent people aren't going to be lured to their death. And now we have a slightly improved inventory. We have the eyes and the grinded graffiti tags, small pile of rusty scrap worth 3 tech scrap. I honestly can't think of why you'd want to do this other than to bank your scrap, but at only 3 apiece, that's not very good. But we do have some really good purchases here in the Omni Sales, and I think I'm going to grab some because I would like some for the upcoming fight. So for 1,000 scrap, 50 works just fine. From here, before we head on to Terminal Z, and ultimately the encounter with Little Johnny, we have some more enemies in here. He's already on his way, which is perfect. Ooh, only 14 damage, I can deal with that. There's the cut. More Mark III, which is excellent. I do want to go into Little Johnny with at least one Mark III weapon, but frankly, I wouldn't mind going in with 2. So now we're in the ship graveyard, but we don't have too far to go here. In fact, might be able to if I'm lucky. Nope, not lucky. There's a good deflection. Back up. Storing a pre-charge. Should be able to get the cut here. There it is. And inside this porta potty, yeah, I know, inside the porta potty, we did get another implant that we already had, so we got the more material. And inside, we get another implant, the deflection energy converter, for 4 core power consumption. And this was one of my favorite implants from the original Surge. Anytime an enemy attack is successfully directionally blocked, not just blocked, it has to be directionally blocked, you get 25 energy. That is potentially really, really useful, especially if you can get down the directional block, which I highly encourage you to do so. I had to just grab that. Oh, just barely avoided getting poisoned. And now, the plan here, let's pull him. Don't really want him running back. Some more damage. Tell you what, we're gonna have to soften him up. I might have to buy more Omni Sales, and that's okay. In fact, let's just kill him outright. And then, instead of focusing on the defender, I'm just gonna rush in, watch the mines. And that's a turret. Sliding attack works so well, especially against those guys. And let's soften his arm up a bit. Back up. Should be able to get that arm cut here momentarily. Watch the stamina. There we go. Nice charge R2 to break that arm. Get that cut. Let's use one of the metavoltaics, pick up another battery for the charge. And this right here is going to allow us to cross this bridge, the one that we could only open from the other side, with the EMP Starfish. And unfortunately, 2 more defenders take its place. Not really sure why that happens, but it does. Luckily, at least this one is not armored in the head. Ooh, that could have been really messy. There's the cut on one of them. Down to 1. Oh, and he is running away for some reason. Bad, bad, bad. Run away. Excellent. Defenders are dead. And just more Omni Cells, which is great. We will likely be running back to buy some more from Penny unless we can... Well, there we go. We have plenty now. And we're going to get some more when we rest at the medbay. Don't forget to head up here. Grab this loot cache. Implant circuitry, so that is just some more Mark II materials for our implants. And that is all of the loot and all of the enemies between us and Little Johnny. So now it's time to head back to the medbay and figure out what build we're going to be using for this next encounter. So once again, just in case you forgot, over here there were some boxes, and we just followed these pipes all the way back to the medbay. And from here, I'm going to do a little bit of upgrading and a little bit of build tweaking for this boss, and I'll show you exactly what I'm going to be doing when I come back. So let's take a look at exactly what changes I've made. I have leveled up my core power to 35. I put all of the 8 points that I got into stamina. You can see 230 stamina, looking pretty nicely. And as far as upgrades go, I do have most of my gear up to the Mark II, but I still am sitting on 1 Mark I Scavenger's leg gear. That's okay, I can deal with that. But I'm also going to be changing my weapons here. In fact, I'm going to unfavorite just about everything here. I'm going to equip my metamorphing talons, and I'm going to be favoriting the new weapon, the vibrating quick sight, so I can quickly switch in between those for this upcoming fight. As far as changes to my implant loadout goes, I have made a couple. I did get rid of the Manslayer, because technically speaking, Little Johnny is going to be robotic and not human. I also got rid of the Omni Health Observer because bosses automatically display any health and stability that they have without having this implant on. Instead, I switched it out for the Deflection Energy Converter, which means every time I get a directional block, I'll get 25 energy, and the Battery Adrenalizer, so every time I fill the battery, I'll get a 30% stamina regeneration boost. Right, so let's go meet Little Johnny at long last. Now the rest of this episode will be done with post-commentary. Everything up till now has been live commentary, but while the fight with Little Johnny isn't the most difficult in any of the Souls-like games, it is one that does demand your attention, especially because it can take quite some time. In fact, the upcoming fight takes about 10 minutes. It's okay because as long as you take your time, it is certainly something that every player will be able to manage. So picking up just a little bit of loot here. You can see I've dropped down to the point of no return. A little bit of scrap along the way. And we get a little tooltip that talks about switching between the body and the body parts.
Whoa, boss, what? Shit! I'm sick of her telling me what to do! Little Johnny
So here is Little Johnny, a little bit of a gimmick fight. There are 8 points on this machine that can be targeted. The 3 large legs, the 2 cooling tanks directly underneath, as well as the 2 arms, the little pincers in front. You can see there, I already got the stun there because of the deflections. Now, with Little Johnny, it takes 3 of the directional blocks in order to stun him. This move right here where he is spitting along the floor, the liquid will cause poison buildup, but more importantly, those little mines along the ground cause the electricity buildup, which means that it's very easy for you to get stunned. So anytime that happens, it is certainly best to draw him away from those mines. Now currently I am focusing on the right arm. You're going to see me cut off both the left and right arm before I start attacking any of his coolant tanks. The reason for that is if you want the upgraded 2.0 version of his boss weapon, you need to dismember both of those arms before you kill him. If you leave one of them intact, you'll only get the standard version. So what I have found is that it's easiest to bait this attack with the middle stomp, and then the 2 stomps, and then get right up in his face, and then start directional blocking all of his attacks. Well as you can. Little Johnny does not have a huge moveset, but when he does that ground slam, it is usually a great opportunity to get a number of attacks in. So I'm using the quick snipe here for the long range poke. Once I've gotten off the arms, I will be switching to the metamorphic talons just so I can build up the damage and the nano damage a lot quicker. With the directional block energy gain that I'm getting, it is pretty easy to stay topped off on health and pre-charges. There's the middle, there's the double. You can get a couple of free hits typically after that double slam. And here he's going to let out those mines again. Anytime he does this, that means that all of the previous mines are now gone. But for the most part, this fight is going to remain exactly the same. In fact, the only move that you're not going to see in this fight is once you destroy 2 of his coolant tanks, that is when he can add another move to his arsenal, which is vomiting poison spray directly at you. You might think that I make the directional blocks look easy, but I have been practicing this boss. Once you stay in his face, he will typically do the left-right-left combo or the left-right front combo. So with both arms now dismembered, now I'm going to start focusing on the coolant tanks. Switching to my metamorphing talons because with the quicker attacks, the nanite damage should build up, allowing for that burst damage. At this point, the rest of the fight is going to remain the same, so I'm just going to allow you to watch and enjoy. And if you'd like, I can put a timestamp on when the end of the boss fight is, because like I said, it does take about 10 minutes. nearly have him. And there it is. And for our troubles, we get Little Johnny's Forceps version 2.0, and that is a quest
over,
complete.
isn't it? Shame it had to come to this, but you did good out there. Real good. Meet me by the harbor gate. There's something I want you to know.
We also got the EMP-44 Starfish drone module. Now the EMP Starfish does more than just open up some of those doors that we've been seeing. It can stun enemies with electricity damage, and if you notice here, while there is a 10-second cooldown, there is no Omni Cell consumption. This makes it an incredibly valuable tool, especially if you come across groups of enemies and you can stun them all at the same time. We're going to see here very soon how it works, but once we launch it, it'll shoot something at the target, and then we can either wait for it to detonate, or we can detonate ourselves just by using the drone button again. Now let's take it Little Johnny's Forceps 2.0. This is a twin rigged weapon, 127 damage, 14 impact, 96% attack speed, 50% energy gain, 90% stamina consumption, and 39 poison damage buildup. But it's not just the attacks themselves that can cause the poison damage buildup. There are a number of combos that I'll demonstrate here that will actually let out a toxic gas to any enemies in the immediate area. There's one right there with the backflip. And every time you do the spin move, it'll let them out as well. There's also the charged R2 that'll let it out. So not only will hitting the enemies cause it to build up, but also if they're standing in this gas, that will also cause it. But now that we have the EMP Starfish, let's run around the boss arena to test it out. Here we have the same symbol on one of these shipping containers. That will blow the door open. And inside, we get some more implant circuitry because that was an implant we've already had. This is the door that we're going to leave from, but we can open it up while we run around and open up a couple more shipping containers. Over past the entrance that we came in from. We have some more metal scrap. And all the way in this back corner, one more shipping container to open. This one has some loot and an audio log. More metal scrap, and let's listen to Thicker Than Water.
Mother, I'm in charge here, and I know what I'm doing. You should trust me for once and leave this to me.
The invaders were defeated, so the drug's purpose is done. We must reunite. You're not a drug lord, you're my son, an heir to the Holy Spark. If you stay on this path, even I will be able to save you from yourself.
Yes, Mother. You're right, Mother.
End the distribution of blue sparkle today, and leave these souls back to me.
Of course, Mother. I'll tell them. Thank you for your counsel.
May the spark bless you, Jonathan. I'll see you in the cathedral.
And right away we go into Call for Help.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? My name is Athena Guttenberg. I don't know where I am. Some kind of warehouse, I guess. Please, get me out of here. I'm scared.
This is AID response. We've picked up your location. Hang in there, Athena. We'll be with you soon.
Opening up this door unlocks this mag lift. I didn't mention it before, but this is in the room with the one aspirant and the spider drone that leads back to the medbay. But before we go back to the medbay, we do have one more door that we can open. And if you want to complete the quest for Rex, here's where the evidence for April is.
God! Where's my sweet, scrumptious April?
We can't find her, sir. She, seems to have fled your most glorious bachelor pad.
Why? Have I not showered her with everything she needs? I even left her a crate of Chardonnay.
Oh, she's become a true believer, sir. Always talks about her faith. My guess is she headed straight to the cathedral.
Well, make sure she doesn't get there. Nobody could ever know about my little secrets. Especially not Mom.
Don't worry, she won't get far.
And on that rather disturbing note, that will do it for this episode of Everything Possible in The Search 2. I hope you learned something, and if you did, leave me a comment below and let me know what you learned. And if I missed something, or if you have your own tips and tricks for fighting little Johnny, put those in the comments below so we can all keep learning. But I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.